disgusting. It's more appropriate for Democratic propagandists than it is for an American journalist. Love to threats against these hospitals. These hospitals, the bomb threats and so forth, terrible indictment of her.
What is up, guys? Tyson Dela Cruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. Miss Flip Flop Kamala Harris, or Miss Chunkla, that's Spanish for flip flop. Miss Chunkla Kamala Harris flip flops so much that MSNBC and CNN can't even contain or cover for the amount of flip floppery that's occurring with the Harrison Walz campaign. Shout out to everybody watching. Drop your comments down below, smash a like button, and let me know where you're watching this out of. Remember when Kamala Harris said that she won't ban fracking?
I made that very clear in 2020. I will not ban fracking. There's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking.
Finally putting an end to fracking once and for all.
What is the solution for voters in the fossil fuel industry?
Giving the workers an ability to transition.
And they will have the intensive training to make the transition.
And we remember in the debate that Donald Trump even pointed this out, that Kamala Harris has so much flip-floppery that he might as well send her a MAGA hat.
Believed 3 years ago and 4 years ago is out the window. She's going to my philosophy now. In fact, I was going to send her a MAGA hat. She's gone to my philosophy. But if she ever got elected, she'd change it. And it will be the end of our country. She's a Marxist.
Not only is the entire Harrison Walz campaign flip-flopping on all their policies, the individuals that endorse them have to indulge in this flip-floppery as well. John Fetterman went on an interview with Kristen Welker, and Kristen Welker asked him, so now what's up with fracking?
I know you've talked about this quite a bit. Vice President Harris, as you know, once supported a ban on fracking when she was running for president in 2020. She even sued the Obama administration to prevent fracking off California's coast. Now she says she will not ban the practice as president. Why should voters trust that that is really what the vice president believes?
It's so strange why we just keep talking about fracking. Back in 2020, I said that that might be an issue, but it's not going to be a defining issue. And now in 2024, we're still trying to talk about fracking. And now the other side, they're talking about eating cats and geese and dogs and saying absurd things and talking about how if Trump doesn't win, he said that, you have to blame the Jews on that, and just absurd things, like having a serious policy conversation when the other side is just absolutely on fire. And here's where we are, and here we are also that it's going to be very close in Pennsylvania, and it's not going to be defined by fracking.
Well, we are talking about it because, of course, it supported 120,000 jobs back in 2022. Let me read you some of what you have said about fracking. In 2016, you called it a stain on Pennsylvania. In 2018, you said you don't support fracking at all. But then in 2022, you said you absolutely support fracking. Senator, what exactly do you like about fracking now?
It's strange for some weird gotcha, kind of taking quotes out of context. And, here I am now. I'm a United States Senator, and I won by 5 points, a record margin back in 22. And again, it might be an issue in fracking, and I fully support fracking. So does the Vice President Harris. And now if you want to have a serious conversation about policy, then I would challenge Trump and Vance to have one other than talking about eating pets.
And we'll have plenty of questions for Senator Lindsey Graham. There's no doubt about that. But to the point, what do you now like about fracking? You say you're not going to ban it. You support it now.
They're eating dogs. They're eating cats. Again. So, okay. Yes. And any more on fracking? I think
it's interesting to me that Mr. Fetterman talks and says we should have a conversation about policies. Yet every single interview that Kamala Harris and the Walz campaign have done and were asked about specific policies when it comes to their particular campaign, they have yet to be clear on the policies in which they're looking to incorporate into their presidential campaign.
When we talk about bringing down prices and making life more affordable for people, what are one or two specific things you have in mind for that?
Well, I'll start with this. I grew up a middle-class kid. My mother raised my sister and me. She worked very hard.
My mother was hardworking. She raised me and my sister Maya.
She was able to finally save up enough money to buy our first house when I was a teenager.
She saved up, and it was only by the time I was a teenager that she could afford to actually buy her first home.
And it is apparent to me that Mr. Fetterman has no idea why he likes fracking or why he doesn't like fracking. And the only rebuttal that he has is to say that they're
eating pets.
This Mr. Fetterman is an absolute flip-floppery. And you know it, my friend. You absolutely know it. Speaking of flip-floppery, we remember when Michael Dyson called Nancy Mace a racist for mispronouncing Kamala Harris's first name.
That's the history and legacy of white disregard for the humanity of black people.
So now you're calling me racist.
I didn't say. I just said you weren't a racist.
That is complete.
No, you don't have to intend racism to accomplish
You are intending that
your
I'm
disrespect
racist,
of Kamala
and
Harris
that is
part and parcel of
what
a disrespect.
Why can't you just,
Congresswoman? Why can't you just?
I'm not calling you a racist. I'm saying what the practice is racist.
You are. You absolutely are.
Let me get
Disrespecting. No, what's disgusting is your disrespect of her.
Professor,
this gentleman said,
you know what?
I didn't know her name. He's trying to do
is
it.
her disrespect of women. She doesn't know what a woman is. And if 25 years ago,
white women don't have the ability to tell black women who paid the price of blood to make this country what it is to tell them they're not real women.
25 years ago,
they care for your babies.
25 years ago, I became the first woman to graduate from the Citadel, the military.
But a few days ago, Mace introduced evidence to the congressional record of Dyson flirting with Mace right after the segment, begging her for pictures and text messages.
I would like to also enter into the record a screenshot of a text message I received from the esteemed professor from Vanderbilt, Michael Eric Dyson, after my CNN interview, begged me for photos. In this text, he says, after calling me racist on CNN, shh, don't tell anybody, we look good together, and sent me a kissy emoji.
Without
then
objection.
The guy says I'm gorgeous in all these photos. I don't think he's that bent out of shape on how anyone pronounces Kamala. And if we're going to have that standard, you got to hold it to both sides, not just one or the other.
Honestly, I'd like to know from the Democrats that watch this show and comment in the comment section, what specific policies do you like about the Harrison Walz campaign? And do you agree with some of the flip-floppery that's occurring? There has been so much that's been happening, not only with individuals in the campaign, but outside of the campaign as well. At least in my personal opinion, an individual who can't clearly define why they flipped on policies and plans, how can that individual be the right individual for the job? It's okay to change your mind throughout your political career, but at least give a stance on the reasons why you flip-flopped on your previous policies. Guys, let me know what you think about this entire situation. Drop it in the comments down below. Smash the like button, share, subscribe, and as always, I'll catch you on the next one.